My name's Joel Candler. I'm from Union, South Carolina. I have a wife, Perrette. Yes, she's named after some French actress. We don't know who. I have a daughter, my oldest child, Becky, who's married to Jason, my son-in-law. They have a grandson, my only grandchild right now, Eli, Papa's heart. Got two sons, David. My oldest son, who's a band teacher at Sims Middle School in Union, loves music. Got a great heart, really great with kids. And he's married to Marla, my daughter-in-law, and my youngest son, Zach, who actually works right here in the Bowling Springs area with a pest control company. Worked for Temkin for 31 and a half years. Started out as a helper, wound up as the chief inspector in quality control for the L24 line, the small product line for Temkin. Led all those guys in quality control, really involved in training, engineering databases, that kind of thing, putting together information packages for customers. That was kind of my world. Technical stuff, dealing with bearings. Had an opportunity because of the downsizing of our plant to leave Temkin and go into a job with New Spring Church, where I was a volunteering and actually helped launch the church here in Spartanburg when it first started up. So I was in it on the ground floor and just so passionate about serving at church that they actually asked me to come on staff. And I retired from the Temkin company after 31 and a half years and went to work with New Spring. And from that, that lasted 2 years until that job got combined with some other jobs. And I knew that what God called me to. He called me into training and building up volunteer leaders. So another opportunity came up, and it was right across the road from my house. Had no idea about it at all. As a corrections officer, working with a detention center in Union County, so I became a detention officer. Had to go to the Criminal Justice Academy and the whole 9 yards, just like everybody else at 59 years old. So actually did that for 2 years, and the opportunity came up. I got a call from a lady in Spartanburg who told me about the opportunity to work with Jumpstart, and participants who had been through the Jumpstart in prison program. And it was just something I knew God had opened the door for, because I could see I had come full circle with the things that He allowed me to do in my career. And it just seems like to say no to that opportunity would have been totally going against what He was telling me to do. So I had to do it. So excited about the opportunity now to work with Jumpstart. Jesus has made such a difference in my life. I grew up in a really dysfunctional home with a lot of physical and verbal abuse. So I know what it feels like to be told you're not worthy of anything, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, and sort of grew up in that relationship with my earthly father that led me to a thought process or thoughts of my heavenly Father, because I went to church just like everybody else did that I knew, that I grew up around. But it led to thoughts of my heavenly Father as being one where I had to keep the rules. You know, for me to stay in good good standing with God, and that I had to keep the rules or He was going to punish me for it. Pretty much like my earthly father had done. And that was my life up until I was 12 years old. And thankfully, my dad was a young Christian. He was learning how to be a Christian, how to follow Christ on his own. So a lot of the mistakes he was making was based on things that happened to him in his past. I learned that now. But thankfully, I grew up in a church with a lot of people who really loved Jesus and knew what a real relationship with Jesus looked like. I guess one of the early things I remember about somebody telling me that how deep and how wide God's love was Billy Graham on TV, watching him in a crusade. But just hearing him talk about God's love and how much He loved me, and then having people at church, especially the ladies that taught the children's classes, just driving home in me that Jesus and God was all about love. That's why I was there. That's why He created me. When I realized that God loved me that much, that He was willing to give up His Son for me, then I couldn't imagine a greater love than that. I still can't.